Hi, I want to show you a really easy recipe for quick cooker chicken tortilla soup. Of course, we're going to make it in the quick cooker. That's this guy back here behind me. So I've got my recipe all printed out, and we're going to start with one small onion. I've already cut the ends off, took the peel off, and then we just want to cut it into chunks, and we are going to chop it in the manual food processor. Now, I love my manual food processor. I use it all the time. It's so easy to use. It's simple. It's just the bowl, which is a 3-cup capacity, the blade, and then the lid, which has the pumping handle, which also locks into place for easy storage. So we are going to put the onion in here. You just want to make sure your blade is sitting flush in there, and then put this on the top, and you just pump the handle like so. Now, the more you pump, the finer it's going to get. I don't want this super fine because I do want some little chunks in the soup. Just take a look here. You kind of scrape it down in there. There might be some little chunks left that didn't quite make it to the blade, and just another couple chunks will take care of it. All right, I'm going to set this to the side, and one green pepper, just one medium-sized green pepper is fine. And sorry, my puppies are getting me. Stop it, Albus. Okay, so one green pepper, just a medium green pepper. We're going to cut the top off of this. We won't use that part. And then this is our scoop loop. This is one of those things you never know that you need until you have it. And you just put it right in here and give it a circular motion around there, and it gets all the seeds and membranes out of your pepper. Just dump it out like so. There we go. Look how clean that is. All right, so then I'm going to cut this in half. I might actually go ahead and quarter this. And I'm going to use my quick slice. That's this guy right here. It's cheapy. Well, it's 3 pieces. It has a base for when you're storing it. But it has the grids on the bottom, and then the blades match up with those grids. And I'm going to use it to cut this pepper into strips. So we're just going to do flush side down like this, a rocking motion, and that gives us strips in our pepper. Now, if you've got strips like this and then you want to cut it again to make chunks, you just put your strips the opposite way across the grids, and you get nice little chunks of pepper. All right, so I'm going to finish up this pepper, and then we'll move on to the garlic. Okay, just finishing up those last few chunks of peppers there. And now, I want to set my quick cooker to the sear setting. So with this guy, we've got 8 pre-programmed settings, and sear is right here. You just turn the wheel and it'll light up blue. We don't really need a time. I mean, I can do it. Basically, we want to sear for, I'm not even going to worry about that, but we're going to sear for 3 minutes. So you're going to push start, and that's going to start the pot heating up in the middle. We want to add a tablespoon of olive oil. And this heats really quickly, so we're just going to give that a minute. And while that is heating up, I'm going to take the lid off of here. I'm going to show you what these onions look like here. See how nicely chopped they are, and you didn't even have to get your hands dirty or stinky. And now we're going to do something similar with the garlic. So this is our garlic press. You just put a clove of garlic in there. You don't have to peel it or anything. And then always just press it into other vegetables that I have. That way your garlic doesn't get to the bottom of your vegetables also. It will burn if it's near the bottom of the pan. But if you can mix it in with something else, it's less likely to do that. And then this is a little brush that comes with it, and you can just use the little end of it to scrape the peel out, so you never have to touch the garlic. So no stinky fingers with onion or garlic. And this recipe calls for 3 garlic cloves. All right. That last little bit out there. I'm gonna put this away. All right. I hear some sizzling going on over there. So I think we're ready, and we're just gonna add our, let me get rid of these. We're gonna add our onions and peppers and garlic over into the pot here. And we're gonna let this sear for about 3 minutes. All right. And I love these flexible cutting mats because after you've chopped all your vegetables on them, you can just fold them up like so. And everything goes in the pot. All right. I'm going to let that do its thing for a minute while I get the rest of my ingredients ready here. So, like I said, we're going to let that sear about 3 to 5 minutes. And then to that, we're going to add 1.5 pounds of chicken. And we can just put the breast in there whole because it's going to pressure cook, which means these are just going to fall apart when it's done. And we're going to add 2 cups of frozen corn. So this is a 16-ounce bag, which will be 2 cups. And then I'm going to get that ready there. Put that to the side. We're also going to add a little bit of salt and some fire-roasted tomatoes and a can of black beans. Now, I actually do need to drain these black beans, so let me do that while that's searing. I love to use this Easy Read colander for beans. You just open the can, put the beans in there, rinse it, and then you can dump it right from here. So I'll be right back. All right, we've been searing over here for about 3 minutes. So I think we're good. We're gonna go ahead and add our chicken. So I need to cut my package open here. Grab some tongs from somewhere. All right, I'm gonna hit cancel because we're not gonna continue with the sear setting. We're gonna put it on a different setting after I get my ingredients added. So chicken goes in just right on top of those peppers, onions, and garlic. Said this is 1.5 pounds, no need to cut it up. Just put it right in there. All right, then we're gonna do the package of corn. And the seasoning I'm gonna use is the Pampered Chef Carnitas seasoning. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of this. So we're gonna put that right over in there. And then salt. These are my salt and pepper shakers. And when I need like a teaspoon of salt, it's so easy to just screw this top off. You can grab a teaspoon of salt. Also makes it really easy to refill our salt and pepper grinders. I love this set so much. And it's just so pretty too. Okay, so salt, tomatoes. Let's get our tomatoes, fire roasted tomatoes, 14.5 ounce can. See how easy that is? All right, I dump those over in there. And then our black beans, which I have rinsed and drained in my little colander here. All right. That's everything in the pot. You don't have to mix it together because it's gonna do its thing anyway. We're gonna select the, let's see, chicken, corn, seasoning, salt, tomatoes, black beans, yes. Yeah, got everything in there. All right, so now we want to put the lid on the quick cooker. You always want to check your seal before you put it in there and just make sure that it's properly secured, because this is, if your seal's not in place properly, and there's a little metal ring in there, and the seal just goes between that ring and the side, and that's how you'll know it's on there. It's real easy to tell when you're looking at it. But if it's not in there properly, if it's, you know, crinkled up or maybe not perfectly in there, it won't come to pressure like it should, and that will affect your cook time. So anyway, to put the top on, you kind of just set it on there kind of sideways, and then turn it to lock it into place. And we're going to do a custom setting, and we want to do 10 minutes. So we're going to reduce the time here to 10 minutes, and then we're going to push start, and it's going to do the rest of the work. Now, once this is done, you take the top off and you add the chicken broth, and you just let it simmer in there for about 10 minutes. Take the chicken out, shred your chicken, put the chicken back in there, add the broth, let it all simmer for about 10 minutes. And then you can serve it with whatever you would like to serve it with. I'm going to do some sour cream, some tortilla strips, and I wanted avocado, but none of them really looked that great at the store. So anyway, 10 minutes and we'll be ready to eat chicken tortilla soup. Now I wanted to show you when this comes to pressure, it will start counting down. So it's at 10 and it will count down from there and go to 0. Once it gets to 0, it'll make a noise letting you know. I was looking to see if I could turn this around, but I don't think I can. And so let me see if I can position it where you can see. There's a little red knob. When it comes to pressure, this pops up. So that's how you kind of know that it's up to pressure, and the number will come up here and we'll start counting down. Okay, so we are at 0, which means the cooking time is done. And so we're going to press cancel because we don't want to cook it any further. And then the steam will release 2 different ways. If you don't do anything, it will just naturally release over time. But I don't want to do that. I want to manually release my steam, and there's a button right here on the top. Let's see if I can show you here. Right here that you push, and it will release the steam. Now, it's far enough away. It's not going to burn your finger or anything like that. And another safety feature of our quick cooker is that it is cool to the touch when it's when it's cooking. So you have little ones and they come up and they touch it, it's not going to burn them. And this just takes a minute. You'll know when the steam is released when that little red button goes back down. And then we can remove the lid. And I'm going to add my chicken broth at that point. And it calls for 4 cups. This is 32 ounces, so we're going to put all this in. Oh my gosh, it smells so good when you can smell it a little bit, but then when that steam starts to release, you can really smell it. Almost done. Okay, now it is going to be hot in there because this really holds heat. It gets to a high temperature to get to that high pressure. So when you're removing, the lid's perfectly cool to the touch. But once you remove the lid, it's going to be steamy in there. Just turn the lid to the right, and you always want to be sure to bring the lid towards you like this because it blocks that steam from coming straight to your face. And then we're going to pour in our chicken broth. Oops, I forgot to fish out my chicken so I can shred that. Let me do that really quick. And it's actually probably going to be so tender that it'll just fall apart. All right, got my chicken out. I'm just going to use these are called the salad choppers, but I actually don't know if I've ever used them for salad. So in this house, we call them the chicken choppers. And just get in there, chop this chicken up, into fine, like bite-sized pieces. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this on sear because we're going to simmer this for 10 minutes. And go ahead and start that while I'm chopping the chicken so it can be warming up in there. All right. These make such quick work chopping up meat. I use them for like barbecue, chicken. Like I said, they're called the salad choppers, but they're for a lot more than just salad. All right. Now I'm going to put this back in the pot with the rest of my soup ingredients. And then, like I said, we're just going to let this simmer on the sear setting for 10 minutes. And then we're going to have yummy chicken tortilla soup. I've got my toppings ready. I've got a little shredded cheddar and Colby Jack cheese, some sour cream, and some tortilla strips to top it with. All right, and you do not put the lid on for the sear setting. You just want it to kind of simmer like that. All right, I'm gonna show you the finished product when it's done.